Hey, what's going on, guys? Middle571 here, and today we're going to be reviewing... Oh, oops, you weren't supposed to see that. Today we're going to be reviewing the Beyerdynamic T1. Now, this is a top-of-the-line, open-back, not a reference headphone. I'd say an audiophile headphone. I mean, that's what it says on the box, too. So, anyway, this is Beyerdynamic's top-of-the-line model. It is their absolute top model in the range. And let's get started with the build quality. There's not much to say about the build quality. I mean, a lot of the top-line headphones are pretty much built about as good as I've seen, and this one is pretty much no exception. Some of the notable features you get over mid-fi here, mid-fi being stuff like the HD600, K701, DT880 that I've talked about before on Reddit and other places, is, well, first of all, lots of metal. Lots of very strong metal here. Really nice finish on the Beyerdynamic logo on the side of the cans. Really, really nice workmanship, actually. It's funny, even the L here with my serial number is slightly holographic looking. And also notable is the headband is real leather. This feels like the real deal. Much softer, stickier, everything you would expect from a real leather headband, and Beyerdynamic in fabric on the top there. The ear cups are very deep, very, very deep, and the drivers are angled. You can see on my model on both sides, and they're angled from the front into your ear like this, and that helps with the sound stage. And I'll talk about sound in a second. After comfort, which I have to say again, spectacular. I mean, they fit pretty light on your head. These are definitely, certainly a headphone that is not as heavyweight in terms of clamping force as the HD600, which I'm going to be comparing the sound to quite a bit in a second here. But also, they weigh a bit more than even Beyerdynamic's own mid-range line, or at least it certainly feels like it due to the use of, so much premium materials. But they really fit light, and I didn't have any problems. Maybe people with less hair than me, I can imagine the real leather, might get a little bit hotter and stuffier, but this is the same velourish pads that you'll find on their lower-end models. And man, these are super comfortable. I really can't imagine anybody with ears that are so large that these won't go around the entire ear. It's very comfortable over very long periods of time. I don't feel like you're going to have any issue with these in terms of comfort. All right, enough about the comfort. Everyone wants to hear what I say about the sound, don't we, audience? All right, so the bass is... wow, it's really similar, I found, in impact to the HD600, actually. But the extension is certainly better on the sub bass. I can tell you that for a fact. As well, the upper bass seems a little bit more in energy, and it gives them kind of a warmer, lusher sound, and it kind of that transitions a little bit into the way the mid-range sounds, which I'll say about in a second. But I did notice that some other reviewers have noted the bass is a little strange in that it does have a little bit of a mind of its own, I feel like. Some tracks, it felt like, despite the sub-bass extension being good, I felt like there was a little bit underpowered in terms of slam than there should have been on some of my other headphones by comparison, which was a bit odd. I can't really explain it, but I know some other people have said that the bass can be a little bit strange and have a mind of its own here. I experienced that a little bit, but overall the bass extends well. It's very good for a dynamic. I'd say it's quite worth it at this thing's going price, as of this video anyway, which is around, I don't know, maybe like $800, $900 or something. Just the bass. I'll get to the other parts. The mids, though, I feel like are exceptionally good. I wouldn't say they're the most grain-free mids I've heard, but they are incredibly, they're just incredibly lush. They're not like the A900X. The A900X has a bump at like 500 hertz that gives it a lot of cream and a lot of body to voices. This doesn't have that, but there's something that's really smooth about the mids, and it's not purely recession either. The mids here definitely sound more recessed than the HD600, which I feel like is slightly grainy and also slightly forward in the upper mids. This does not sound like that. This is super uncolored in the mid-range, at least to my ears. Guitars sound just exactly true to life. And if you've seen some of the other videos from way back on my channel, you know that I play guitar. I've been playing guitar since 2004. So yes, this nails electric guitar tones. I really like that about it. All right, now let's get to the the really good part, the treble. Alright, so there's only one way to sum up the treble on this thing compared to what I would consider neutrality to slight recession in treble of the HD600, and that is, it is hot. Certainly hot treble. It sounds like a Beyerdynamic, absolutely. The timbre of the treble is slightly different than the DT880 that this is an upgrade from, supposedly. But there's something really odd going on, and I demoed this a little bit more right before doing the review, and I gotta say it sounds like there's a big problem centered somewhere around 7K that gives this really strange metallic hue to just about anything you put through the headphone. And if a sound happens to fall within that narrow band, you get a really sharp, powerful, sibilant attack on your ear. But if you're listening to music that doesn't have a whole lot of energy in that region, or is like smooth or like classical and stuff, you still got the hue going on, which leads me to think that there's some ringing there for sure. But it seems like a narrow spot, and I'm pretty sure that that's 7K. If you look at Tile's graphs, you'll notice that on the treble, you kind of have a hump, and then there's this huge dip, and it comes back up. And if you read Changstar a bunch, you'll note that that usually means a long ringing problem in terms of speed, and it certainly sounds like that here. What was odd is these measure very poorly on the Changstar system, I believe Perrin's system, in terms of the CSD. But I really don't have any problems with the rest of the sound of this headphone. It's very, very good, very, very, very neutral. But the treble sticks out like a sore thumb, like all the time. And some people may not have a big issue with this. Also, I should mention, I don't think I've mentioned this in the other videos, but I'm definitely going to talk about it this time. I'm using a Schiit Modi 1 and a Magni 2 with this thing, and I cannot speak for other systems. People who have a lot of tube amps, like, I don't know, Valhalla 2, whatever warmer tube amps you guys have, you may be okay. You may be alright, and it may tame the treble on this. I can't tell you that for sure. Ask some other reviewer who's got that system. But I just go for my solid state shit stack, and most things sound like people have reviewed them before when I get to test the product. So my guess is that these could be molded potentially to what you're looking for. But at least out of solid state, as far as I can tell, or maybe low-end crap solid state, depending on how elitist you want to be about, how much you should spend on a DAC amp, which, I mean, I don't really know, because I haven't heard the really high-end amps. But anyway, out of what I have, this thing, the treble really sticks out behind the mids and the bass. It just has a weird metallic hue. And actually, right before shooting this review, I had Keenex stop over and had him listen to these for a couple of minutes, and he just said that cymbals just sounded wrong. And I would agree, they really sound a little bit strange. That said, you may like it because it adds a color, it adds a pizzazz to the music, and if you're listening to genres that aren't particularly treble heavy, you may enjoy the headphone, absolutely. Or if you have a system that tames treble on purpose, Absolutely, go for it. Give the T1 a shot because there's so much else that's awesome about this headphone. I just don't like the treble as I hear it from my system on my genres. That's why this is a difficult hobby to do reviews for, guys. All right, then the soundstage is the only thing I haven't really talked about. Wow, man, this is a great open headphone. Oh, I love the sound staging. The imaging is unbelievable. If you compare directly to the K701, the K701 sounds like it's way out there, and then the center image is kind of blurry, and it's a little bit more withdrawn than the wide images. And there's like hardly any in between like direction. It's weird. If you compare it to the the HD600 sounds like it's got this center image, and then if something is wide, it just kind of goes out here, but it never really gets back here in terms of imaging and direction. But with the T1, you got this like expanse, not really wide and out there. That's the HD800. But this one it's a little bit more intimate, but you have, wow, there is so much separation between instruments. That part really blew me away, and way better than anything I've heard in terms of soundstage imaging. I completely agree with what 24-bit said about this headphone. Man, FPS gamers, I don't even think there is such a thing as a better headphone for FPS gamers. Pinpoint accuracy in direction of sound. So there you go. But compared to the HD800, which I don't have on hand because it would be imprudent for me to own both of these headphones at the same time to begin with, at least with the budget I'm working with. But the HD800, from what I remember, had a much more expansive sound. Also good imaging, also very good separation, but it's known to capture the environment better. Whereas this one is just like pinpoint. Like you can like point like directions, even like way out there or things behind you. It's crazy. Just awesome imaging, and that's what I think about the T1. Am I keeping it? No. This one is already sold, and it's coming off my hands real soon. But I think for certain people who have warmer sources, people who have tastes in music that aren't really bright, like, man, EDM just like bites at you with this thing and you turn it up. And like people who listen to classical, if you want a little extra pizzazz to the treble and you prefer the Beyerdynamic signature, be my guest. I think you should try it. But for me, no, I just want that smoothness that the HD600 has, without the darkness that I associate technically with the 650 or something like a Mad Dog or whatever. That's my taste. It's important for me to mention that because everyone's going to be like, oh, no, it's this. I'm just giving you relative comparisons here, so you have an idea of what you're getting yourself into when you grab the T1 instead of the 600s. So there you go, guys. I hope that helps make an informed decision on the T1. Certainly one of the more interesting headphones I've gotten a chance to try out. It kind of sounded like I imagined, but that's what I hear. And I hope it helps. Stay tuned. More reviews always coming. I'm not sure how often. I may try to set up a schedule, but every time I say that, I tend to just not be able to keep with the schedule. But I got a bunch of stuff coming up still, and still got to get around to it, like the Sextet LP, a mystery headphone I held up in the beginning. I'm sure someone will recognize that. I've got a DT770 600 ohm that I want to talk about, and I have a DT770 250 ohm Pro as well, and those are coming. So thanks, guys. Comment, let me know what you think, and see you in the next one.